See? I titled it WAC, the WC and me, because that rhymes, so I hope that's cool. So yeah, I guess the gist of it, I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about writing across the curriculum. And writing across the curriculum is a pretty big deal in the sense that people are hired as writing across the curriculum coordinators, and that's their job, is just to do writing across the curriculum. And it's in tons of universities, community colleges, and things like that, and they're in charge of writing for the entire university. So it's a pretty big deal. I don't think we have a writing across the curriculum coordinator here.
It's not you?
It's not me. No, I don't think we have one here, but that's not to say that we don't do writing across the curriculum here, because we do. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the core ideas of writing across the curriculum. The first is that writing is the responsibility of the entire academic community. So it's not just the English department, and it's not just the WAC department here. It's something that is university-wide. Secondly, yeah, it goes across departments. So this idea that writing is bigger than just, communication and professional writing program, because I know they kind of butt heads sometimes. So like, it's bigger than that throughout the college. And the goal is that writing promotes learning, not just writing to learn how to write effectively, but writing in itself makes you a better learner and a better student. And I think that's really important to understand with writing across the curriculum, is that, and that comes up to the last core idea, is that by practicing writing in an academic discipline, you begin to be able to communicate more effectively in that discipline. So writing helps foster that idea that you can become a better communicator in your discipline and learn more effectively, if that makes sense. So it's not just writing to write a research paper, it's writing to be an active member of your community. So if you're going to be an editor or a publisher, you need to know how to write in that discipline so that you can communicate to your colleagues and things like that. Yeah, okay. So there's two kind of big things within writing across the curriculum, two kind of subsets of it that a lot of people use, and it's called write to learn and then writing in the disciplines. And these are kind of two ways that writing across the curriculum comes about. The first one, I'm sorry. No, okay, I'm just going to explain it to you. So the first one would be write to learn, and these are generally like short little exercises that people will do in class. I don't know if you remember, like, I had to do it in high school where like in my science class we had to write a prompt for 4 minutes or something like that, and then that was it. So it's exercises like that, but it's also like little short assignments that deal with your comprehension of material. So it's not necessarily learning how to be a member of that community. It's writing to show your comprehension of a thing, of a topic. And I think that's important because that shows one of the ways you can learn to be, learn when writing, is that by writing you can show that you understand a topic, and then a teacher can see whether or not you understand it and things like that. The other one is writing in the disciplines, and then writing in the disciplines would be like learning how to write a lab report in a science class, something that you have to do if you want to be a scientist. So it's that kind of thing, and also a part of writing across the curriculum. Do those two examples make sense? Okay. So I guess the question would be like, why would you want to do writing across the curriculum if you're a teacher or a student? And these are just two quick examples, and they're not going to encompass writing across the curriculum, but it's this idea that by doing these kind of writing assignments and things like that, teachers understand whether or not students are understanding the material and things like that. And also it allows students to keep their writing skills sharp, and also to further learn the material. So those are just like a couple of reasons why you'd want to use writing across the curriculum and what it is. Do you guys have any questions about writing across the curriculum in that sense? Just those pretty broad, but...
Is this like a program, or is it part of what we do here at the Writing Center? Part of our training?
Both. So it's in a program where it's, like I said, it's like a director where someone would be, I'm in charge of the writing across the curriculum program for, I know they have one at LCC, so in LCC they're in charge of writing across the curriculum. But if you looked at those core lists that we were talking about, that's stuff that we do kind of in the Writing Center all the time, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Does that make sense? So yeah, so writing centers and writing across the curriculum. As a writing consultant, you guys want to be writing consultants, right? So you guys are going to see different examples of writing across the curriculum all the time. And I think the easiest way to see that, it would be in the assignments that you're going to see. You're going to see research papers, which would be kind of right to learn. You know, do I understand this topic? I'm writing to learn about this topic. You're going to see dissertations, which are very, they're not as scary as they sound. Don't be scared that because you're going to get some PhD student in here. He's going to come in with a stack of 40 papers, and you're not going to get through it all, but don't be scared about it. It's just something that happens. And you might see a website, and you might see a resume, and each one of these things has a different place in, like, or I guess in the discipline. Like a resume has its own function, and a website might have its own function. And so you might be a little bit scared about working with a dissertation, and you might be a little bit scared about maybe working with a website, but writing across the curriculum kind of has these two ideas that kind of help cope with that idea of, well, I might not be qualified to work on someone's dissertation, or I might not be qualified to work on a website. And that's where this idea of generalist versus specialist comes in. I don't know if you guys have heard these terms before. No? Okay. So, generalist versus specialist, it's kind of these two sides within writing across the curriculum and the academic community when it comes into writing. Some writing centers and writing across the curriculum might argue anyone can help with writing because writing is writing, and then we can kind of work together. You know, you have the disciplinary knowledge, and I understand how writing works, so we can come together and we can still do good things. Or someone on this side might be like, I'm a scientist, only a scientist can help me with their writing because they won't understand what I'm talking about. So, and I think sometimes in the literature and in academia, it's like, pick your side, you know. But as a writing center consultant, you're going to need both in order to be an effective tutor. And I think that's an important thing to understand. Have you guys read North's article yet, Scott?
No.
All right. Someday you guys are going to read this article by, what's his first name? Stephen North. And he talks, and he writes the quintessential writing center article where he talks about this ideal writing center. I don't know if you guys are familiar with philosophy, but Plato, I think it was, had like this thing of ideal truth or whatever, or ideal beauty. That's something. So Stephen North comes up with this thing of this ideal writing center, and then where like people, I don't want to spoil it because it's so good, but there's this idea that tutors or consultants